Hi, I'm Osman from Brunei, Darussalam. Now, let me talk about art in Brunei. Uh, it started, one of the earliest record, which is from Western perspective, how they describe art in Brunei. And when Antonio Pagafita visited Brunei, and he make an elaborate description of Brunei culture, which he says that there was a parade where led by elephant, and people were wearing brocade, what do you call it here, sinjang. It's just like a cloth over your hips for the men. And he also managed to describe what people wear during that time, which he observed. They wear some bit of jewelry and all this, So now it indicates that Brunei has rich in culture, and that is when they parade to the royal court. He also noticed that how the architecture was during that time, and which you can see in what we call Kota Batu in Brunei now, where the remains of Brunei culture at the time. That was somewhere in 1520s when he visited that. Of course, Brunei culture goes way back there, before that. Today, the manifestation of our culture, actually, you can see when you go along the banks of Brunei River in the city. You can see the water village. The water village hosted. It used to be about 30,000 before, but now I think it's shrinking a bit because they're not opening a new settlement there. In the early days, Kampung Air, or water village, is bustling with commerce, culture, and a lot of activities, as stated in some of the early manuscripts by the Europeans. And it's where the sales, it's where the traders meet as well. The traders from China sell their pottery and ceramic, and also the precious stone, and also from Thailand, where they bring the potters, pottery. So in Brunei itself, until year 1970s, I think I recall, we have villages on the Kampung Air that are specialized in their own trade. One is, for example, one village is expert in weaving the what we call kain songket, which is a traditional, just like woven with golden thread and cotton. So one village is expert in doing the weaving, and one village is expert in metalworks or silverware, which they do jewelries and all sort of things. So, but of course that has disappeared. But in that era, during that 1970s as well, the government feel that the oil trade, because of the oil, we found oil, and a lot of people was looking at jobs, being employed rather than doing their own trade, as what we are used to do before. So looking at that, government established Arts and Handicraft Center which started modestly in somewhere in Burung Pingai, what we call another village, and now become something that is we can proud of, quite a big establishment where we train young people or people who are interested in doing the ancient craft of Brunei. So just like silverware, carving, weaving, which is quite successful. Without that institution, I think most of our craft will be gone. So this is one of the initiative, I think, adorable initiative, I think, to ensure that the culture that doesn't disappear. And of course, goes along with it is a work of art. It's the traditional ways of life Brunei used to do before, and that come along with it, showing how great our civilization, Brunei civilization, was a long time ago. And not only showing, for example, those weaving, or whether there are two types of weaving. One is weaving for doing basketry. So that is also a craft. Of course, there's a lot of basketry. We can find it almost in Asia, but there's some uniqueness as well in Brunei basketry. Now, looking at all the arts that has been done, the craftsmen at that time was actually what I used to always call, because before the coming of Western art, which we are doing now, we have paint, brush on canvas or whatever, now coming with new things, with installation. But before that, our art was based on the needs of the culture. Of course, when we talk about Brunei, we don't only talk about the Brunei now, because Brunei was the whole Borneo Island at the time. So actually, there's a lot of diversity in different ethnic, in projecting or creating their arts according to different needs of the culture. Some of them are creating something for the kitchen, something for storage, and all those requires skill, and along with it is how they express themselves, how they look at the time, the aesthetic at the time. So not only aesthetic, but I think it's also the technology goes with it. For example, weaving is if you look at it properly, it's quite complex and quite sophisticated technology to do. A lot of people don't know how to do weave, but people who do weaving, which are quite expert, they can do a lot of things with weaving. Of course, at the time when they do weaving, is for the practicality of the people. I mean, at that time, for example, if you for storage, okay, you build a storage. What is it for? Is it storage for food, for clothes, and all sort of things, And goes with it, they try to express themselves there by patterns and by the way they weave it. So trying to achieve that aesthetic, they had to think how to do it, and comes with it. They are developing a technology with it, And for example, weaving, whether our coin songket, or and also the basketry. They are actually furniture making. Yeah, they are great mathematicians as well. Right. How they weave, how they count, and if they create new things, they had to count. Okay, how many threads go in to create that flowery pattern? So there are also
the science goes into.
Yeah, there's a science. So usually in other cultures, usually like what we saw, the great artist, you know, is also a great technologist, you know, like Leonardo da Vinci. So because they try to create something and goes with it, in order to achieve that, you know, the aesthetic, you need to think something, how can we do it? So this goes with our Brunei culture as well. Our great artists before us has great, you know, technology, created great technology to create that art as well. Yeah, of course. Now we are looking at we have still have we carry on with our traditional art, you know, to make it alive. Of course, as in other media, it's in evolving. You know, people create new things, but you still maintain the traditional pattern, the technology of it, you know, that have been used. Like Kan Songket, I think the technology used is still the old, which is being created centuries ago, and people are still using it, creating it. But of course, the patterns are different, and even our dancers, dance. We recreate them to make it more relevant to today's time. But the elements of traditional elements still very strong there. I see a lot of talents in Brunei, actually, and that's one of the reason why I try to help them to provide platform. I'm hosting what I call Emerge exhibition. It's a 1-year cycle exhibition where I'll showcase works of artists that has not been exposed, but I see a great potential there. So either it's from student or teachers, young teachers, or other people who are done, you know, having different profession. We don't have a lot of full-time artists in Brunei, but there are a lot of great talents. So this is a platform like this, you know, and other platform as well, which is provided by either government or private people, for them to showcase their talents. So to ensure that you know, art is something that sometimes we take for granted. You know, okay, we look when we walk outside. If you are in your house, you see furnitures which are also created by designers. You know, it's a downstream of art. You know. You see your painting or decoration hung on your wall, creation of art. You go to the kitchen, all the plates, all the cutlery are all being designed. So, and when you go out of your house, you see signage, road sign. You see the shop signs, and you see it's all the work of graphic arts as well, and they are not just done like that. You know, it's being designed. So when you go, the car you drive is also being designed, and the clothes you wear, the fashion you wear is also being designed. Actually, in our everyday life, we are surrounded by creation of our culture. So you know, so much that we are surrounded by it, we take it for granted, and you never think about who created. You know, the clothes you wear. Of course, if you are wearing designers' clothes, you you know who created it.
Signature.
Oh yeah, but there are a lot of creation created by people who are known. Just like songs, a lot of our folk songs. We don't know who created them. It passes generation after generation that we don't know actually, because I think in Asia we don't actually like to claim it's our work, until of course now we are conscious of it because we have IP, intellectual property rights, so these are the things that we take for granted, and the culture, the arts help to build the culture and help to build the identity. And we look at, even though now we're looking at the popular culture now as new popular culture. Take for example in Korea, they built a new culture. From the east to the west and Latin America know how to sing K-pop, and comes along with it is suddenly people go into Korean culture, and you see Korean restaurants everywhere. So these are the things that
That's how powerful.
Yeah,
it is.
how powerful
Art.
it is, arts and culture, for people to recognize a certain group. So we in here sometimes we don't take things for granted, but actually it's a powerful thing that there are a lot of countries trying to find, especially small country, developing country, to find a strong identity to represent themselves. So they study the culture. This is where we should look, which is the powerful segment of our culture that can be accepted by other culture as well, and can make it a strong piece that can identify ourselves and how people look at us.